The thing about blackjack is if you're a big-time high-dollar player, if you bet a lot of money, you can play by yourself because you go to a table where you're betting $100 a hand or $200 a hand or $500 a hand, and you're not going to have too many people there. But if you play recreationally, which I do, and you're betting $10, $20, $25, $30, $50 a hand, then there's a lot of people playing with you. And it's interesting to see how other people play, because the parallel to me about how other people live is just strong as could possibly be. And this just really hit me when I was recently in Las Vegas for one of our events, that the big trick here is when the dealer is showing a high card, we are supposed to keep taking cards. We're supposed to keep hitting. We're supposed to keep being aggressive, okay? But it's really funny to see when someone has a 5 or a 6. And I'm sorry, when we are looking at our cards and we know what we have, and when people are looking at their cards and they have a 15 or a 16, all the rules of blackjack say you must take a card. You have to hit. The odds are in your favor to take a card, but people are afraid to do it because they're afraid they're going to break. And it just, to me, once again, it goes back to the recipe book. It's a no-brainer. The rules are you take a card when you're at 16. Now, I know that if you have to get a 5, a 4, or a 3. You don't understand what I'm saying? You may think the odds are very low there, but here's the deal. And this is the first point I want to make. If I'm playing blackjack and the dealer clearly has a good hand, and I stay on a 15 or a 16 because I'm afraid I would break, and that's the only reason you would stay on a 15 or a 16, then to me, that's the same passive attitude that's going to stop you from getting wealthy. If I'm going to lose, I want to lose aggressively. Okay, I tell you this and guarantee in virtually every aspect of your life, if you can be too passive or too aggressive, be too aggressive. Okay, always be too aggressive. If you go up to people and some folks are like, well, you know, he's a little too aggressive or she's a little too aggressive. I love the expression, you know, sometimes they just blow their people out. I'm like, well, you know what? At least they also signed some people up. Okay, when you're sitting there and you're like, well, you know, so what do you think? You know, I'm not sure. I don't want to push you. If you want to make up your mind now, that's great. That's a lot different than saying, let me ask you a question, Mark. Do you have any children? No. Do you have a niece or a nephew? Really? What's his name? Jamie? Oh, no kidding. You know, well, what if you found out? Would you say that was an incredibly aggressive way of closing me? Yeah, and if he blew me out, did he care? Here's what you got to, and this is a fundamental part of you being a great rep. We have got the deal. Okay, we've got the deal. Now, I know what you're saying, yes, Mark, but what if a high card gets turned over and I break? So what? Here's the crazy thing about blackjack. They always deal you another hand. You can always play another hand, and when you lose that, guess what? They'll deal you another hand. They'll deal you another hand. All you have to do is place a little bet, place a little bet, place a little bet. I'm sorry that it costs a little bit of money to place a little bet. Here's the thing about gambling. This is a good one. Do you view, and this is real, I want you to think about your honest thoughts right now about gambling, playing cards in a casino. Do you look at gambling as an opportunity to win or an invitation to fail? I love that because there's so many people, man, you can tell a lot about folks when it comes to gambling, and it's like, well, you know, I like, to me, people who gamble. And I'm not suggesting you become a degenerate gambler. I don't think you should go degenerate, like, you know, a sick, you know, someone who gambles away their house and, you know, their children. I don't think you should do that. But what I'm saying is within reason, when you are gambling, you need to be willing to put up a bet, and you need to also be willing to be aggressive. If you're gonna lose being aggressive. The last thing you want to do is sit there and be passive, and you have cards and you could hit, but you sit there and go, no, I'm afraid I'll break, and then you watch the dealer slam you anyway. It's the most demoralizing feeling in the world when you're taking your money away and you weren't even aggressive and didn't even try. So I'm just sharing with you, be aggressive. Always be aggressive. Now, there is a lot of